If it hurts, you ain't breaks, no games, you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, slides, through the games after this win in. Press you again, we're here for the first minute. Carry my team down 6 minutes.
Rocky Top, you'll always be. Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me?
Yes,
all right.
I think one thing I will say is that I care about my guys. You know, I have a real issue with people touching my quarterback, running back, stuff like that. Like if you're in the backfield, you're my family. Especially if you're on my line, you're even more my family. You know, that's kind of my mindset when I walk on the field. That's kind of how I play the game. I'm blocking to protect the man beside me and the man behind me, not for personal growth. Because you keep everybody healthy, you win ball games. So I'm excited.
It's day one, like I said, like I just told D-Rock. Hey, it's intensity from day one, from start to finish. Whistle to whistle blows to whistle in. All day, every day. I need everything you got. Everything out of you. All 15 days. Every practice. It starts right now. It's your time. It's your choice to be great. Let's pick that.
Yes, sir, man. Let's go, man.
Let's go. Tennessee on 2-1-2. Tennessee.
But you know what? Let's talk a little Vols. That is not me trying to take any shine away from the phenomenal channel Talking Vols that my guy Boogie Bentley runs. So shout out to them. But let's talk a little Vols here.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. The boys are back together. Coach Jay is here. Foul Ming is in the house. Vol Scoops had some stuff going on. His girlfriend got bit by a spider. Look, come on, Scoops, you don't have anything better to do than to let your girlfriend get bit by a spider. So he hit me up. They were at the hospital. He was running to get medicine. He's like, I can be there. I'm going to be 20 minutes late. I said, Scoops, just sit tonight out. Just take a break, breathe, calm down, and we will gather back together next Wednesday because it is football time in Tennessee. It is go time, man. We're moving into that regular season schedule. Talkin VAWLS live Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Fan call-in shows every Sunday night. The first one's going to be this upcoming Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's when it becomes your show. Let's be honest. It's always your show, but it's when you get to come on, you get to have a voice, you get to talk about whatever you want coming up this Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we're moving EA Sports College football to Tuesday nights. But boys, it's go time. 24 days. 24 days until Tennessee kicks off the season against Syracuse. We're 1 week into fall camp. Have you guys turned that corner? Because my wife always had a saying back in the day, before this was my job, when I worked a 9 to 5, she said with all her coworkers, he's a different human being. I'm married to two different people. There's regular Boogie. There's the regular guy that walks around every single day, works a 9 to 5. He's a father. He's a husband. And then there's Fall Boogie, and he is a psychopath. Are you there, Foul Ming? Have you turned the corner? Is it go time or is it go time?
Oh, it's go time. How about you? You've got me
yeah,
excited.
buddy.
You got me excited.
Yeah,
it's time to go, boys. Like, football's back, baby. Like you can smell it in the air. You hear pads popping. We're back in full pads today. Man, like it's here. It's here. Like we can't waste any days. every practice counts, every minute counts, every rep counts. Like it's time to go. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. If you can't tell.
Boogie, you played that Arian Carter speech before the show, man. You get Coach Shea going, he's going to start running into brick walls and tearing down cameras and getting kicked out of the house by Miss J, man, because I get fired up. Hell yeah. There's only one way to succeed in anything, and that's to give it everything you got, man. And that's why I love this game so much, that we all love, man, is it takes that energy, that emotion, that brotherhood, that camaraderie. And whenever I start to get on that grass and I can smell a football field this time of year, man, it's tingles and it's time to go, man. I love it.
See, it's got to be different for you because you're out there on the grass. You're going through practice right now, so that's a little extra something on it.
Yeah, you got to give it everything, man, because you know what? Football can be painful, man. You work your tail off, man. You sweat, blood, sweat, and tears. You exercise with everything you got. You got these little monkey bumps all over your arms that you're not used to having or hurting. But I'll tell you what, man, you win, not a damn thing hurts, Boogie. Not a dang thing hurts when you take home that W, baby.
Well, I don't know what the weather's like out in California, man, but it's kind of cooled off a little bit here on the East Coast this week. It's dropped about 10 or 15. Man, like it's almost like a little pre-fall is in the air. Like, I mean, the intensity's there, electricity's there. I mean, you can just feel it. It's time to go.
I got that same vibe this morning. I walked out on the back deck and I was just standing there. And, man, I didn't want to come back in. It's not cold, but it's that crisp East Tennessee air, man. I'm like, it's freaking football time in Tennessee. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us on a Wednesday night. We're going to talk a little fall camp. We're going to hear from Josh Heupel. Here's some of the words that he said a week ago. We were going to cover that a week ago, me and Foul Ming and Scoops. And then, well, Coach Jay was going to be on here too. And then the world came crashing down on me. But we're bouncing back, man. We got this makeshift studio. We're good to go. But I want to hear what Josh Heupel said because I was playing it today just to kind of get a gauge. Talks a lot about the quarterback competition. There's a lot of meat on the bone there that we can get into. I want to talk about the coaches poll, Tennessee coming in at 18th. We're going to do all that, and then we're going to catch up with you guys, see what you guys want to talk about tonight. But first and foremost, hit that thumbs up below the video, right down there. It's easy, man. It takes 2 seconds. It helps the channel. Also share it out. Let people know that we are in regular season mode, and we are live on a Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Retweet it, share it out, Twitter, MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. What are all those apps that Falman uses? I don't know, but let's catch up with the chat.
My face, all the faces.
Tyler Harrison for 5 says, Dorothy, let's go Vols. Can't wait for the season to start. GBO, Luke Thompson is here for 2, says Dorothy. Shout out, Luke. Appreciate the Dorothy. Also, Brian Turner for 5 says Dorothy GBO. Dell Dowman is here for 5. Dorothy, we will be ready for game 1 in Atlanta. GBO. Shout out, Dell. Todd Landers for 2. Dorothy GBO. If you're sitting in the chat, you're going, what in the heck is a Dorothy? Well, that's a way of saying, hello, gentlemen. Thank you for the content. Thank you for the live stream. Here's a little tip in the tip jar. We appreciate that. John Wells also becomes a member of the channel. If you're not a member, there's a join button right down there below. It's only $1. Those Sunday night streams are going to be members only. So just get your $1 in. That's it. $1, a quarter. Is the Sunday content worth a quarter? I think it's worth 25 cents. So hit that join button down below. For just $1, you can be like John and become a member of the channel. Shout out, John. We appreciate you. Tim's been a member for 29 months. Jeff Clabo's been a member for 16 months. Says Vol World Order. Shout out. Appreciate you. We also got Kevin Smith driving an orange boy. We got a rule around here. We got to play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Kevin Smith for 20. He's on Foul Means wavelength. He says, let's effing GBO Vol no matter what. Shout out, Kevin. We appreciate you, brother. Boudreaux for 20. We'll play the dang clip again. Why not?
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Shout out Boudreaux. He's also a member of the EA Sports College Football Patreon Dynasty that you guys can come hang out and play some college football with me, Coach Foul. X Factor's in there. Dauber's in there. For 20, he says, it's time. It is go time. Memphis 3168 also becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that. This camera's driving me nuts. There's too much Christmas tree showing. Too much Christmas tree. All right. We're caught up with you guys. Let's just jump into it, man. Let's talk about fall camp. And it's just going to be an open conversation, right? Week 1's in the books. 6 practices, I think, are in the books at this point. Foul Ming, you mentioned it. First day in full pads. Boo Carter been back out there, full team activities the last 2 practices. Coach, kick it off for us. Reading the practice report, scrolling around the internet. What are your early takeaways from a week of fall camp?
I'm really excited about the linebackers. Number one, I mean,
Shocker.
surprises absolutely nobody, right? I just like I love where T-Lander's at. I love where AC's at. Seems like he's at 130%, and it just feels like Spillman is not going to be able to be kept off this field either way. And when you have three linebackers that can really play and give each other blows out there and bring energy play after play, gives you a lot to get excited about. It changes your numbers when you're bringing pressure, changes the way you can stunt and do different things, and it changes your pass protection too. So extremely excited about that. I think this depth yet again is going to be a weapon along our defensive line. I'll try to leave some meat on the bone for you here, pal. And the injuries, I know we're going to get into it. To just quickly bury that lead, I expect this coaching staff to have players wrapped in bubble periodically throughout this summer camp. So as much as now, that's not to say I'm not worried about injuries. I'll be honest with you, I'm scared to death of injuries at the wide receiver position this season. But I'm not necessarily scared because they're missing a practice or being, taken care of or pampered a little. That's just them making sure that everyone's a full go. We can't step into this season with a wide receiver injured. They have to be 100% healthy from jump against Syracuse if we're going to have any chance at all of finishing with 3 to 4 scholarship wide receivers starting. And I'll stop there because I'll try to leave a little something for you guys to yap about as fast as you can.
Hey, you're good, Coach. Roll with it. Everything you got, man. Especially the linebacker room. I always want your input on that because I'm gonna go straight to the defensive line. Like I feel like because everybody wants to talk about everything they had last year and maybe a little bit of drop off, and it's not nothing negative against this group. They're just thinking last year's group was so impressive and the depth was so impressive. But when you're talking about rotation, it's like, okay, so maybe we had 12 deep, now we're going to 8 deep, or we had 14 deep and we're going to 10 deep. It's not like a drop off, it's just a reset. But I'm hearing nothing but good things about that room. Everybody's worried about, like we talked about, injuries. You think about Joshua Josephs, who's going to be you hope a major impact on that defensive line. I mean, unless something major happens, that's going to be our guy, right? But we're hearing about Jordan Ross coming along, Caleb Herring, Emmanuel Koye. Koye's having his first truly healthy spring and fall camp, right? So I know he's still getting adapted to everything, but I think they're starting to expect some more out of him. And something that really I like to see today and was really just happy. I mean, outside of just being a fan, but just happy to see Dominic Bailey is supposed to be really showing out. Like he's really coming along, being that leader in the room, really taking over ownership of that room, but not just off the field stuff, being a leader, which we expected after everybody's seen his interview here, seen how he carried himself. Like he has those leadership traits, but has really just stepped up on the field. You take like his first 3 years here versus his last year and this year, what do you have, like 25 tackles last year, I think. So I'm expecting a lot out of him. That was good to see. And the offensive line, I think, is starting to come together quicker than maybe we thought. They put out maybe a rough, what you want to call a rough draft today. So we're looking at, obviously, Lance Hurd at left tackle. They had Wendell Moy, left guard. Sam taking first reps at center. Jesse Perry taking first reps at right guard. And then, of course, Dave Sanders at right tackle. So that might be a rough draft of your offensive line there. I know Sam's, we didn't know where he's going to fall in there, if he's going to be playing tackle playing guard or playing center, right? But it looks like he's going to be taking your reps at center, but they're saying that's a close battle. So for me, it's just been the offensive and defensive line, seeing that battle there, seeing if the offensive line will be better and seeing if the defensive line can hold pace.
There's a lot to unpack. You guys putting out a lot of stuff that's in my notes. I want to kind of deep dive some of the high points that you guys brought up. We're going to do that. Let me catch up with the chat. Retro's about to give birth to his little tiny baby, Talkin VAWLS baby. 9 months. Congrats, Retro. Maybe after you give birth and you bounce back, maybe then you can run that 40 time that you've been working on. Bob's in the house. White Lightning has been a member for 2 years. Good evening, Boogie,
What's
Coach
up,
Jay, Foul Ming, Ball Nation, and the Talking Balls Colt. I need a shout out to Brayley, my neighbor, and Jeanette, my girl in Florida.
Oh,
I'm gonna try
howdy, Antoinette. Howdy.
I'm gonna try to not get Bob in trouble
Florida.
right here. Bob just got it. He's got
It's
one
not
in every
Sunday.
state.
It's not Tuesday.
He's got one in every state. Shout out, Bob, man. We appreciate you, brother. Vols going to ball for 5. Spillman getting described as a monster. Gave me goosebumps. Excited for this DB room. Been moving a lot around, and I like it. We're going to come back and talk about Edwin Spillman here in just a second. Luke Thompson, I like when you guys do this. Luke gifted a Talking Balls membership, so somebody in the chat got a free membership. Now you get to come hang out Sunday and see the members-only stream and see if it's worth a quarter a week. 25 cents a week. I think it's worth it. Jeff Clabo drops $20. He saw that the top donation of the night and the month was $19.99, so he wanted to be on that leaderboard. He raised the bar to 20. He says, "Go Vols!" We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Shout out, Jeff. I appreciate you, my friend. Let's go back. Again, you guys had so much stuff there that I want to kind of go through it step by step. Coach, you talked about the linebackers. I'm excited about the linebackers. Obviously, Arian Carter, man. You know, when we started talking recruiting and we started doing the film breakdowns, man, some of those little babies, Coach Jay, on those early film breakdowns are now upperclassmen. And you and I have talked about it too. Some of these guys that we've interviewed are now upperclassmen, and it's neat to follow along their journey. Arian Carter's a dude. Jeremiah T-Lander on media days, I loved everything. That kid just oozes confidence. T-Lander's got so much confidence. Edwin Spillman, everybody in the chat's talking about him, but we know that this defense, they want to be on the defensive line. They want to rotate 10 to 12 guys. At linebacker, they want to go solid 2 deep, right? So you're looking for 4. And I love, listening to Coach G meet with the media and talk about the interior of the defensive line. He's like 1, 2, and 3 are solid. We know what we've got there. 4, 5, and 6 are close, but need to come along. So when we look at that linebacker room, who's that 4th dude? Is it Jordan Burns? Is it one of the freshmen? Do you have confidence that we're going to rotate 4 guys at linebacker?
I think we'll find the other one. And I think it's the type of thing, almost with our quarterback situation, not so much this year, but next year. We just need one, right? We just got to find one. So we've got, thanks to recruiting, thanks to what Inge and the coaching staff has done, we've got great options there. We just need to dig up one. Burns is a real great sideline to sideline kid. I know Gass is dealing with a little tutu, so he's got to get through that, but also a kid with a lot of upside. So I think we will find one. Perlotti seems like he's just going a million miles per hour from what I've been reading in reports. So they just got to slow him down a little. That can be done, though. That can be coached into him, just making sure he's taking his time. So I think we're going to find that other one, man. I really do think we will. I think we'll be okay at that other linebacker rotation spot. But you can work with 3 in a pinch, but you don't want to because, gosh, injuries are always right around the corner in the Southeastern Conference, and you really hope to find that one. But, man, do we have a nice lineup of 3? Because I'll tell you what, you always want that offense coordinator thinking, man, if my running back takes a head-on smash from both middle linebackers, I might have an injured running back. And right now that's what I'm thinking if I'm running them B-gap to B-gap. So it's exciting. They got to still cross that finish line when it comes into pass defense as a linebacker group. We struggled at times last year. The Georgia game comes to mind. The Ohio State game comes to mind. Those were games where our linebackers were picked on to a heavy degree, and they got to get better. In not against Syracuse. I don't want to watch a Syracuse game. The linebackers be lights out in pass protection, and everyone gets happy about it. What do they look like when Georgia comes to Knoxville? What do they look like when we go to Alabama? That's when they're going to have to answer that call and take that next step as a unit.
And just real quick on that linebacker room, it does seem like, and not to let me knock on something, don't jinx this, but this is the healthiest our linebacker room has been, I think, in the past couple of years. It seems like every year, even starters have had nagging injuries, this thing, that thing, missed a lot of practice. So I can't remember the last time we had even a 1, 2, 3 that we were this confident in and felt this healthy just moving into the season. So that alone will be a huge plus because you're getting reps, right? You're getting that timing down. You're working together, and they're all another year in the system. And I'm like you, Coach. It was like those little crossing routes. Anytime they got them in space, and it wasn't just like if they're back in their zone, they seem comfortable. But once you put like crossers or maybe even short slants, and just made them move across each other, kind of like interact with each other. I don't know if that's a communication thing. You could probably speak on it better than me. But it just seemed like we get lost in space. But our run fits were there. But we've had a year to work on that. And you think that Ohio State film hasn't been played 10,000 times. I mean, that if there's any routes that they should know, it's those right there. So I'm definitely confident in that linebacker room.
Their wall foul, just real quick on that.
Yeah.
Their wall offs, their redirects, right? Their wall offs, their redirects, and the way they pass off those wall offs and redirects inside C gap was a big problem for the linebackers. That's when you see them get lost. They were brilliant at time. It cover smuggling the flats. The Arian Carter pick on Lagway comes to mind. There were moments where they showed they can do it at an elite level, but as you mentioned, it's those wall offs, those pass offs, and those redirects that they have to get better at. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, but again, but just staying with that note, how much of that is, Falming talked about not being healthy, right? Keenan Peely missed so much time, and how much can Arian Carter, can Jeremiah T-Lander benefit from that, because they got trial by fire as young guys, and then also Jalen Smith was a guy that was out there, and he was always stepping in molasses. He was running in oatmeal. Like, that guy was always a step behind. Coach, is that speed or is that football IQ? And can again, trial by fire for Arian Carter, for Jeremiah T-Lander, I expect them to be a step ahead, a step quicker this year than a year ago.
Some of it's speed, right? But speed's not everything. I'll just point it to your mind a little bit, right? We had a safety last year that a lot of people counted out and thought couldn't play in this league. Boogie raising his hand over there, right? Because he wasn't fast enough, right? He wasn't big enough. He wasn't fast enough. He wasn't strong enough for anyone. But guess what? He knew where to be, how to be, and who he had to be with on a play, so he could put himself in the position to succeed. There is no reason on God's green earth that these players can't develop into players that can do this. Even ones like T-Lander, who might not be a burner, right? Like but he can get to where he needs to be, and he can handle his wall offs and his pass offs and his redirects in a way to where if he can't beat them there, he is redirecting them to help, or walling off them to help, passing them off to help, wherever that may be on the field in the system or the scheme they're running.
And again, that's a football IQ. Isn't T-Lander? I think T-Lander's a coach's kid. I'm pretty sure he's a coach's kid.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows that but me. I'm
pretty sure. Gosh, it's like where you wish you could just have AI do magic stuff for you. I picked on T-Lander a little bit for being late on certain wall-off recognitions during his film breakdown. Go back and watch it. I think there's one or two pass plays at the very end where I pick on him for it, and he's gotten better and better at it. Man, if he can take just as big as step as he took his first year to last year, this year, we'll be just fine at that linebacker position. And I'm fully confident he can do so. The kid's a dog. And like you said, he's a hard worker. And if you're working hard, you're doing everything coach tells you to do out there on the field, I have all the confidence in the world that we can coach him up to get where he needs to be.
You mentioned AI, so I thought I would check out AI. Jeremiah T-Lander's father is Steve T-Lander. Steve T-Lander is a former college football player who played at UMass, later became a football coach with stints as an assistant coach at Missouri, Bowling Green, UTEP, and UMass. So, yeah, coach's kid. So I think Jeremiah T-Lander knows the game. High football IQ. Sure. Let me catch up with the chat. Ron the Don for 5 says Dorfy, and let's go Fee. Wait, is it way to go? Is that what WTG? Way to go, fellas. Coach J, foul bling bling ming. We can sell shirts that say that with the foul facts. Foul fact. There's 2 T-shirts in one super chat.
I got a whole merch store coming. Just wait.
Ron's cooking, man.
Ron's cooking. Foul's going to create his own bonfire shop. It's going to just have foul ming specials. Boogie B, let's go Big Orange. Distant Whispers of destiny. Peyton K's in the house. What's up, Peyton? For 10 says Dorfy GBO. Shout out, Peyton. Appreciate you. The Waniac is here for 5 says Dorfy late from eating supper. GBO. I'm going to have to schedule my live streams around Wayne. He's always eating supper and late to the show. But shout out, Wayne. It's good to see you in the chat. I saw a couple of comments about the offensive line. I saw a couple of comments about the center position. I'm trying to scroll back up and find them. Probably won't find them this late. Here's 25 Dark Alchemist. Who you got starting at center? That's a damn good question, in my opinion. And then there was another one that said it was mental. Who can grasp it? Here it is. Kevin Smith says center is who can handle the mental part of it. And let me say this, man. They said going into back in spring camp, they said that William Satterwhite had it between the ears. They said he got it mentally. He didn't bring the level of physicality. Falming, you mentioned the practice reports today showing that offensive line lined up left to right. You've got Sam Pendleton once again at center. And look, here's the deal, man. Look, the media is there for what, 20 minutes, 15 minutes? So how much can you put into that? He may be at center when the media is there. They may walk out the door, and Satterwhite could be working at center 75% of the time. We don't know. But for the sake of speculation, do you think, Fowler, could be, it's not necessarily that William Satterwhite is so awful at center. Do you think maybe it could be that they're more confident in Sham at guard, Jesse Perry at guard, somebody plugging in at guard? I know Coach Jay was high on Shamrod Umrah back in the spring at guard. Do they have maybe more confidence in them at guard, and then you can slide Sam to center versus, well, we just have no confidence in William Satterwhite? Maybe it's more of we're more confident in Shamrod Umrah at guard than we are William Satterwhite at center, and that's why you're seeing Sam slide over.
I feel like it's really close between Pendleton and Satterwhite. Like from everything I've read, it's not like one's just outplayed the other necessarily. I think that's as close of a competition as maybe even the quarterback competition. But the thing there, I think, is going to be experience, because your center, I mean, everybody knows center is kind of the quarterback of the offensive line. You're making all the calls, protections, things like that. But you need that guy who not only knows what he's doing, knows where he's supposed to be. He needs to be able to put everybody on that line in the right place, the right time. And that can be from having it between the ears, knowing where they're supposed to be, but also having that leadership and just being older, and that upperclassman leadership of, I don't care to put this guy and give this guy advice and tell him what he needs to do and take that upon myself to put everybody where they want to be. I think it's going to be more of a who can manage the group, who can take that leadership role for the group, as well as have it between the ears and be able to perform. I think both guys can do that. I think both guys can perform. I just think maybe with Sam's experience, that gives him a little bit of an edge, just like we've talked about in the quarterback situation, where Joey's experience gives him that little bit of an edge, where they're going to kind of give him the nod first. And you never know, maybe one of your guards doesn't work out or something, and he has to slide over. I don't think you're going to have a huge drop-off in play necessarily. I think it's more of a chemistry thing and just seeing who fits the best right now. I mean, like you said, it's the media sees 5 to 10 minutes, and it's all drill work. Like, yeah, you see who lines up, but it's not really like good on good. They don't get to see, what the actual reps look like. And we got pads today, but they didn't get to see it. They get to see them line up, right? So we'll find out more. I think Saturday will be the big tell. Like, you'll see the scrimmage when you get live reps, see what's going on. But I think now and this staff tends to lean this way too, but I think it's experience first. If you got experience and you can get the job done, I think they're going to lean that way.
Yeah. I think both have it between the ears, which is huge, because we saw the Florida game comes to mind, the Joe Milton Florida game, right? Where Coop was out, and just the center offensive line, the whole thing was just out of whack, because the backup center just didn't have it where he needed it to run that position. And it wasn't necessarily his fault. It's just, it wasn't his spot. You know what I mean? Out on the field. But you saw what it looked like when someone can, get them lined up right and get put together right. Just makes all the difference. The centers are gas pedal in the offense. And I think Fowles on to it. You just got to see how those combinations look. You got to see how the center works with the quarterback too. That's a symbiont circle there as well. Like, certain pitchers like to throw to certain catchers better, right? There's just a relationship there. And then how do they work together, right? Like, you can have it all between the ears, but not getting it done physically. And if you still have A-gap pressure, that's a problem, right? Like, Coop was great. I could only think of one game really where he he got beat every play A gap, and that was against Jalen Carter, I believe, in 22 in Georgia, where he couldn't deal with him for whatever reason. I think he was fighting an injury too at the time. But
You could.
you got to find that right guard center combination, because here's the thing. The edges were a problem last year, but if the center is sound, that's the worst place to have pressure, is straight through that A gap, man. A quarterback at least has time to panic, run, shoot, sing a song, or tell a story when it's coming off the edge. If it's coming up the A gap, man, there's not a lot you can do about it. You got to get that solved in a hurry. This offensive line, guys, no matter what the combination, no matter what goes on with it, is going to be huge. I know everyone brings up, I just saw a post today. Don't remember who posted, doesn't really matter. Just saw a post today. Man, if we would have just had 10 less overthrows, it would have been the 21 offense. Well, maybe. Like, remember how many drops there were last year? You remember how much edge pressure we gave up last year? We have to fix those problems first, or it doesn't really matter if those throws are on. He's still going to have the problem of the drops and giving up sacks and ending up behinding the sticks. If we don't easy for me to say, if we can't fix the false starts at the line of scrimmage, we're going to be playing behind the sticks. There's numerous things we need to fix from last year's offense. That offensive line is a big part of the three things that needed fixed from last year's offense.
And two quick notes to calm social media a little bit. We all saw the drops and everything they posted last week, and we all know we've been plagued with it for about 2 seasons now. Yep. So today's practice, what the media got to see is what it is. It's all routes on air. Only 1 drop today. Only 1 pass drop today. So, I mean, now that's even with a lot of guys still missing and things like that, but definitely improvement from the sloppiness we saw last week. And then as far as the line goes, it's the real tale I like to see is the defensive line are bragging on them, right? Like, we've heard several defensive linemen in interviews, and it's their teammates they're going to. They're supposed to. They'll defend their teammates and they'll defend their team. But it's not like they're going out of their way to just have to pull something out to say, like, they're actually saying, no, there's been drastic improvement from spring to fall. It ain't just the coach speak almost of, they did really good or they're working hard. It's actually, no, we can see the improvement. We can see the strength change. We've heard David say, Dominic Bailey was just bull rushing me, running me right over in spring, and now I can hold my own. Like, so not only like the team's getting confidence in them, they're getting confidence in themselves. Like, I'm expecting a lot more out of this offensive line than I think most people are. And like, I don't think we can brag enough on Jesse Perry, because you talk about if he wasn't just making himself not be able to be held off the field, if he wasn't just showing out to a point where, do you think they would put a fresh guy without a whole lot of game reps beside freshman David Sanders? Do you think they'd put him there if he really wasn't showing out? I mean, that tells me that he's not only performing well, they have enough confidence to where he knows his job and he knows David's job if he needed him to. And not saying David doesn't, I'm just saying he's a freshman. He's going to make mistakes. Everybody's going to make mistakes, but you're going to put a guy beside him that knows what he's doing. And that's just how I feel if I was coaching that room.
I love to, like, just the Don Bailey thing and the way he spoke about the offensive line and said that they've grown so much throughout the course of the spring and then going into fall camp. And then too, like, he told us that Coach G tells us, do not pull your punches, go all in, make them earn it. And then hearing that David Sanders was just getting bull rushed. I love that. I like to compare football to jiu-jitsu all the time. There's nothing like being a high-level blue belt and you got that day one white belt comes in and he slaps hands and he says, let's go. And you just put it on him. You let him know how much better you are than him. Why? Because you want him to get better. And it's the same thing there. And now David's holding his own. It's not like Don Bailey all of a sudden is backing off and said, well, I'm going to go easy on the kid. No, iron sharpens iron. I love that. Let me catch up with the chat. Tyler for 5 says, if Heupel wins 10+ games this year, tell him and Danny White they can leave Knoxville when they're damn well ready. About time for ball. Go big, damn orange. Love y'all. David Burgess, been a member for 35 months. Appreciate you, David. Vols, going ball for 5. Based on our depth at wideout and DB, I feel it may be more important to get Boo solid reps on offense more so than defense. Thoughts? I think And I've got that in my notes here. And I want to talk about injuries, and I want to talk about the solutions if injuries do occur. But I want to kind of come back to something that Coach Jay mentioned, talking about the routes on air and the drops and how we've seen that the last couple of years. And I was listening to the VolQuest podcast while I was laying out the show and getting ready. And AP mentioned this. And it's because of Fowling. You said, today they looked a lot better. Yesterday, or the last two practices, they looked a lot better. But they had two back-to-back horrendous practices. Again, 5 minutes, 10 minutes that the media is seeing it. But the bottom line is, if I see something start to become the norm, if I see this start to become a theme, it's a cause for concern, because there were several years ago where there were drops and routes on air. And I sat here on this channel and I said, it's not a big deal, guys. It's practice. It doesn't matter. And then we go out there on the football field and we see drop week after week after week. And AP was almost kind of trying to act like it was a big nothing burger, the same way that I did a couple of years ago, and act like it's not a big deal. And this is what he said. He said, it's something we've seen the last few years. And I'm like, exactly, because 2 years ago, we saw all the drops. And who do we blame him on? We blame him on Joe Milton. Stop throwing 90-mile-an-hour fastballs. Put some touch on the ball. What happens when Nico comes in? We still see the drops. If something becomes regular, if something becomes the norm, it's a problem and it's a concern. And you can say I'm overreacting and I'm crazy, and I'm not saying the sky is falling. I'm saying if we continue to hear about drops and routes on air, nobody's covering you. I'm just out here running around on the grass. And yes, it's more about routes. It's more about depth. It's more about timing. But to piggyback this whole thing back into injuries, it's Mike Matthews missing practice. And I get it. It's not a big deal. He was back on the practice field today. Braylon Staley has missed the last two practices. Muscle strain is what VolQuest has put out. And I get it. That's not a season-ending injury. It's not a big deal. But Coach, when we're talking about timing, when we're talking about routes on air, we're talking about depth of routes, you want these wide receivers who have not worked out with Joey Aguilar at all, other than a few, over the course of the summer. You want that timing. You want that opportunity to get on the same page. I think these, and people are calling them maintenance days. They're maintenance days because we can't afford to lose a wide receiver. Dang it, we need to be working on timing, and we need to get on the same page. I'm not trying to overreact. We sell a shirt that says you're muted. You can get it at bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS.
Got to serve you up at least once, right? So, yeah, we got to be on the same page, man. Timing, we're talking about offensive line. We're talking about overthrows. We're talking about drops. If you're in that unit, be the cause for change, man. Be the one that gets it done, right? If the throw's a little off, go make a play, man. It's football. Go snag that ball. Make the quarterback feel good, feel comfortable with, you know what? I can let this rip. You know why? Because Mike Matthews is going to pull down one hand and get grabbed. I can let this loose on this corner route. You know why? Because Braylon Staley is going to catch this and keep a foot in bounds. The wide receivers have so much talent. Be a cause that gives the quarterback the confidence they need to let it loose and play great. And then let that be a reason that the offensive line knows that, hey, if I give him the time that he needs, they're going to get this done. Not that, oh, hey, I blocked my tail off on this play just to watch him drop it, and then I give 120% on the next play just for the quarterback to overthrow it. Okay, take a breath. Now he's sacked. Now that one was on me. Horse crap. Be the cause for change if you're the wide receivers. That goes for the quarterback room and the offensive line. No more excuses. Let's get this fixed now, right now, right now. God, well, now I want to be on the grass, but you see what you've done to me. You got me all riled up here, buddy.
Transition this and let Fowl chime in on it too, because Keg in the chat says if the wide receivers are flopping, be ready for 12 personnel. What is the answer, right? What is the answer if we do run across an injury? What is the answer if we do? Because right now, Chris Bradshaw, he still hasn't practiced, right? He's expected back this week. He had a knee cleanup. Again, Matthews missed a practice. Braylon's missed a couple of practice. If a guy gets hurt or if guys aren't contributing, what is the answer? Is it more 12 personnel? Is it Boo Carter on offense? What's the answer?
For that question, I think it's the tight end room, because you're already hearing even in what limited stuff the media's seeing, they're not necessarily running plays we've never seen before, but we're using tight ends more often in plays we didn't maybe run as often. You're starting to see tight ends in motion, multiple tight ends in sets more often, right? So I think they know what they got in that room. I think we got a little bit of wealth in that tight end room, and some of the young guys in that room can step up quicker or are getting game ready quicker, right? That's a lot to fit in there. But right off the gate, like I know we've talked about how thin the wide receiver room is. That's the whole point of this little segment here. But it's like these injuries, man. I think, and I even told Boogie last night we were talking, I think it's a bit of a load management thing. I think if there's even a hint of a strain, soreness, whatever, you're going to get wrapped up and you're not going to practice. Coach is already splitting these or spreading these practices out, splitting days. But who's your first three? I mean, everybody knows, but who's your first three wide receivers? Who are we taking right out the gate? You're going to say Matthews, Brazel, and Staley, right? That's your first three guys. Okay. Matthews missed all last week. He's had 2 practices this week, but it's limited. Still in a red, no contact. Brazel's missed this week.
He's missed the whole. He's missed all of. Yeah, he's missed all of camp.
He's missed. Yeah, he's expected back. Well, it says expected back this week. Well, there's only 1 day left. Like, and I doubt he's going to scrimmage. If you're not going to, I mean, you're going to bring him back and get him hit? Probably not.
Right.
And then Braylon's not practiced all week. So we only got 6, and 1, 2, and 3 aren't practicing. And when they do come in, it's limited. So, like, how could you not be a little stressed? You know, I mean, it may be load management. It may be we're trying to be extra cautious, which we should be. But at some point, you got to get those reps in. And also, like Coach talked about, you got a new quarterback. It doesn't matter which one it is, it's a new quarterback. So if I'm a wide receiver in that room, I want to be his favorite target. I want to be the guy that's going to come down with the ball, not dropping balls in practice, getting those reps, getting the timing. Because the more comfortable a quarterback gets with me, the more balls are going to come my way. So that's a win-win. I want him to get confident. I want catches. I want touches. That's just how it works. So we're missing that. So not only are we worried about the injuries, now I'm stressed about missing reps and missing timing. And I don't know who 4, 5, 6, what that order is going to be. And we already know they don't have any game reps, whoever it is. And just to throw a little extra note at the end, I did read that walk-on Trey Weary has looked good. He got a lot of extra reps because of all these injuries or load management, whatever you want to call it. That's the NBA term for it. But he's showing up, showing out, looking the part. So maybe that's a name, kind of keep on the back burner, keep on your mind. That might be a guy who can step up and make some plays for us.
Yeah, I think you got your starting 3 that you mentioned. And then I think it's Rad Jackson and Travis Smith.
For sure.
They're the next off the bench. And Amari Jefferson has been turning the corner, which is good. And Amari's been hurt, man. He's not been 100%. I still think Amari Jefferson's going to be a dude. I really truly believe that.
I think so, too. Yeah,
but I think it may be Weary. I think Weary may be the next guy off the bench. And look, a lot of people out there, I see the comments, I see reading on VolQuest. I think it's an easy, quick fix, right? It's well, Deshaun Brame has a wide receiver body. Just throw him out there. Well, that's also a true freshman that's been learning the tight end position for the University of Tennessee. And then they say, oh, we'll throw Boo Carter out there. And I agree. Like, that was the plan, is to play him 2 ways. Everybody thinks it's a quick fix. Oh, just slide Miles Kitzman. Miles Kitzman sliding out wide is maybe more of a realistic option. But, like, unpack that, Coach Jay. As a coach, we're just going to take a true freshman that's trying to learn the tight end position and say, hey, you look like a wide receiver. Just go play it. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's not a quick fix.
It's not a quick fix. It takes work, and it's going to be a quick grow-up moment is the main thing, right? Like, no, we've had a lot of players up here, and God, I don't like to be Mr. Quote a movie guy, but it's that old Remember the Titans moment. Like, hey, man, like, what does he tell it, Sunshine? He's like, I had like 12 kids or whatever, and I had to take care of them right away. Like, it's time to grow up, man. Like, we are going to need, at some point, we're going to have someone go down, whether it be for 1 play, 5 plays, or 4 games. Yep. These young kids are going to need to grow up quickly. And I think if you're the coach, they got to know it. You've got to rep it. You've got to drill it. You've got to practice it. You got to beat it into them. They have to know from the get-go, hey, it's not if, it's when. And I need you laced up extra tight, right? I need you to keep the gun locked, cocked, and ready to rock, because you're going to be out there and you're going to be playing a lot this season for us. But the good news is I think we got the talent, man. I do. Like, Rad Jackson is a B out there, like a son of a B. Like, he can pull down any pass. I'll still never understand how I won that Phil breakdown against Rad Jackson, because that dude was a son of a bee, man. And Travis Smith,
Because you
is
know
great
ball more
too.
than the guy that you were going head to head with. That's why.
I'm trying to let it
I'm
go.
Let's
sorry,
be
dude.
honest. Come on, bro.
Sorry,
You kidding me?
but
Travis Smith, man, like you're saying.
yeah. Point is, we off the rails. We got players there. It's just the depth makes me nervous, guys. When we were up here talking about the Vegas total, I backed off a whole game that Boogie and Fowl didn't back off, because and I got chewed for it, right, by everyone. How dare you say 7.5? And the reason I did that wasn't because of Nico, wasn't because I watched Nico's year and go, oh, well, Nico's from my coaching tree and we're the best. And now since you lost him, I think you suck. No, that's not why. The reason why is because the SEC is brutal and our wide receiver is thin, and we can't play this offense without wide receivers. And that scares the bejesus out of me. And I think if you're gambling on it, it's do they make it through alive or not? And look at how banged up our wide receivers have been every year up until now. That's why I changed that. It wasn't because I didn't think we had the talent. If we can stay perfectly healthy, we can make a run. But that's why also, if I'm a coach, it's why I'm bubble wrapping these kids. How many games does it take to win a national championship now?
A lot.
16, 15.
16 games. Coach Heupel, when Nico left, he got up there and said, "We're built to win now." Did he not? We're built to win this now. If you believe that as a coach, you better pace yourself. You better have a little load management with the depth you have. Otherwise, you ain't going to make it no 16 games. You're not going to make it 9 through the SEC schedule, easy SEC schedule or not. And I don't know how much I buy into that easy or hard schedule BS before a season starts anyways, when you don't know who a team is, who they've grown into. I'm sure before last year, a lot of teams thought Florida State would be a tough outing. And guess what? They weren't. So things change year to year. But you just got to tell them, man, you got to rep it. You got to practice it. You got to work it. Those young kids are going to have to play. You got to get them ready. And you got to have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, a plan E. Yes, you have to work Brame. Yes, you have to work Kitzelman, what you're talking about, so that if for some reason you do have to do something crazy, it's not so crazy. You know what I mean? That's where I'd be coming from.
So how much blame do you put on Heupel? Because we're sitting here with a wide receiver room with what, 6, 7 scholarship players? How much fault do you put on Heupel in the portal? And I've kind of defended him, saying, Squirrel, he didn't expect Squirrel to hit the portal, and the timing of that, and the guys that were in the portal had already gone elsewhere, and he was kind of up against it. But at the same time, man, you're responsible for your entire roster.
The buck stops with the coach, right? But yeah, the Squirrel thing was on bad timing. And then Nico leaving, no matter what you think of Nico as a Tennessee fan, it screwed up the image for that portal, right? What wide receiver was going to come play here in that spring portal?
Nobody.
With what was going on, right? And
We don't even know who's going to.
And that's not Heupel's fault, right? That's Big Nick or whatever you want to fall on it, right? Call it that.
You just nailed it.
Yeah. So that I'm not going to put that on Hype. I mean, at the end of the year, the buck stops with you, and we're going to grade this coach on how many W's you have at the end of the year and how many L's you have at the end of the year. But some of this was just the brakes beating the boys. Now you got to find a way to overcome that. But what makes me feel great is we got a coach that can do that, man. Like, look at 21. Look at what we overcame. I mean, talking about this linebacker room just a minute ago, guys, like, what was the linebacker room like in that spring game in 21? I think we were playing like a backup walk-on long snapper.
Yes, he now follows me on Instagram. He's the local kid. Yeah. Shout out Will Albright. Shout out
Will Albright. But that's my point. Like, would you rather take this roster with the Nico and everything that went on, or that 21 roster?
Oh, 100%. We're taking this. We're rolling with this. Yeah. And let me say this too. It could have been worse, right? It could have been worse. Yes, we didn't go get some sexy name at wide receiver in the portal. Yes, we're limited with scholarship wide receivers. It could have been worse. And Volquest was talking about this on the podcast too. AP was talking about Miles Kitzelman. The second that Nico was kicked off the team, Miles Kitzelman walked in that locker room and said, "We are going to come together. We're going to do this together. We want to be here. If you want to be here, we're going to do this together." Mike could have left. I've never questioned Braylon Staley. I don't think Braylon Staley's. I think he's going to finish his career at Tennessee. But Chris Brazzell could have left. Like all these guys could have left when Nico hit the portal, but they didn't because Miles Kitzman stepped up and he was a leader. Any final thoughts on that, Falmy, before we move on?
Just real quick, we've talked about Ellerby and how he's recruited. Now he's starting to get his recruits in there. Now this year's going to kind of tell, I think, for him. Now we've all been hard on him from here and there because just the results, right? But we're going to finally see what the guys he's recruited, the guys he's developed, the guys he's brought in. Let's see what they can do, right? It's finally, we've waited all this time. So at which point do we talk about Pope here? Pope's recruiting great. Like at first we're like it's just Vol fan base, but it's like he can't recruit. Well, okay, then he does. Then starting last year, brought in some big guys. This year might be one of the best wide receiver classes we've ever had. I don't want to grade them, but like it's up there. And if Keys comes in, it just goes up and up. But at which point do we start talking about development here? This is like 2 years in a row. We talk about drops. We talk about this. We talk about that. These guys are definitely talented. We got the talent in the room. So now I want to see, where does the development come in? Can Pope develop? I'm not being hard on him yet. I'm just saying now's the time. Let the tides rise, right? It's time. So what are we going to see out of that room? And that would be my biggest thing. It's like we got to take that step now. As far as on Hop, I'm just trying to hit all your points here on Hop and saying like, is it his fault on the transfer portal thing? Yes, it's your roster. You're going to manage your roster. But if we're talking about, and this is nothing against walk-ons, but if you're talking about walk-on getting playing time, you're going to tell me nobody in that transfer portal can compete with our walk-ons? Now, I'm not saying there's a Mike Matthews that was sitting there. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying there's a Chris Brazzell sitting there that we could have got because, like you said, we didn't know who was going to be throwing to you. I get it. But you got to tell me you can't bring one more guy in for depth, something. Like I do think that we dropped the ball a little bit there. Like I'm not saying we missed on the home run. I'm just saying there should have been a depth piece there. So if you want to put a knock there, put a knock there because we definitely needed something.
I just don't know who you're going to get. Like it's like, hey, come work for this corporate America. Come work for this company, man. We're going to give you a great spot, great position. You have no idea who your boss is going to be. And it's like, well, I need to know. I need to know who's throwing me the football. That was such a crucial thing. And you could have sold Jake. You could have sold Jake at that point.
You just sell Heupel, right? Like you say, I sell this offense. There's been a different quarterback almost every year, and they're all been moderately to more than successful, right? Like
they're in the NFL.
All of them, right? Like everybody's at least there on their way. So you're going to like, it doesn't matter. I mean, yes, you're not going to get, that's what I'm saying. You're not going to get that top guy because he wants to know for a fact who's throwing me the ball. But there's got to be some mid-level guys who could have stepped up and been like, in this offense, give me a shot. Give me a shot.
All I'm saying though is like, let's say that spring, everything that happens, Val, right? And there's a good mid-level wide receiver in there, and you're his agent, and you go to Josh Heupel and them. I mean, aren't you yelling, "Show me the money, man"? Like,
for sure.
Like Jerry Maguire all over the place, man. Like, and I don't think Tennessee's gonna pay for a mid-level wide receiver. At least I don't think they would have. Maybe.
And that was the whole problem with the previous cycle, not the spring, but the previous cycle.
Right.
Was everybody that was in there would have been wide receiver too. Like they would have not started. They would have not started over Mike, Braylon, or Chris Brazzell, and they all wanted starting pay, and that's why Tennessee didn't go after them because they thought they were fine until they weren't, and Squirrel left, and now you're down another body. But like it's easy for us to say they missed, but do you overpay? Do you pay starting wide receiver pay for a backup? Do you do that? Like it's easy for us to say yes.
Well, right, but we've talked about that. It's like we don't want to overpay for obvious reasons. Nobody wants to overpay. But when you've put yourself in a bind, you almost give yourself no choice but to overpay. Well, like I think we overpaid for a lineman or two, or at least offered to overpay for a lineman or two early in the spring portal just to try to fill a hole that we knew we had, and that we knew we put ourselves in. And I'm not saying yes, just tell them the money. Like it's not my money. I'm not the guy, right? But it's just hard to look back on it and say you got 6 guys. Like you don't want to put something there and then even if it is a little bit more expensive than it should be. And then like today, any of those guys you're saying, well, they'll be wide receiver 2. Today, they'd be wide receiver 1. Today.
Yeah, today they wouldn't have known that then.
Right, of course, but I don't know. I get it. I get both sides of it. I'm just trying to, be devil's advocate a little bit here and say, like, it's hard. It's easy to look back on it now, of course, but I got to think, man, we needed some depth somewhere, because even if these freshmen step up, they can still roll an ankle tomorrow.
Easy to judge Heupel with 2020 hindsight vision, but I mean, I thought he's done a heck of a job up until now with everything he's had.
I think he's done great in the portal. Even this cycle, yes, the wide receiver depth is a huge concern. But adding Sam Pendleton and Wendell Moore, I don't think people understand how good those dudes are going to be. Adding Colton Hood, I don't think enough people are talking about Colton Hood, right? We had Blurgate. Blurgate went down this weekend. Colton Hood going and making a play. A lot of people are starting to talk more about Colton Hood. When I saw his numbers, and stats are not everything. Stats is not the end-all, be-all. But when I saw his coverage numbers from Colorado, I'm like, this kid's going to be a dude.
Knowing good and well, everybody threw at him.
Yeah, if he becomes, will he become or Jermon McCoy? I don't know. I think he can.
He don't have much of a choice, because it's like, again, Ricky Gibson didn't practice today either.
I just envision Colton Hood now talking Love Island to the wide receiver in front of him, like Alvin Mack in the program. Like, you're the one.
No, it's going to be the opposite.
You're the one who left Benito, aren't you? You punk.
Oh, wait, whoa. Is that a real name from Love Island? Is Coach Jay watching Love Island now?
I made it up.
Somebody in the chat confirm. We need to confirm. It's Coach that's watching Love Island with Colton Hood, not Ricky Gibson. It's Coach. It's Coach.
Is Ricky being kept in bubble wrap? Like, let's dive into that a second.
What was his injury?
It just said, what was it, lower? Yeah, it just says no practice this week, not expected to be long term, and it was a potential strain. So that sounds like load management for sure.
Which is okay, especially with a veteran guy like that. I'm not as worried about it with a defensive back versus a wide receiver that's had limited time catching balls from Joey Aguilar. Like, we've not even gone into the quarterback. We'll go into the quarterback competition here in just a minute, because I'm going to listen to Heupel's press conference, and that's going to lead us into the quarterback competition. But limited balls from Joey Aguilar, like, that's way more important to me. Like, Ricky Gibson's going to be fine. If it's bubble wrap and,
they have to list something. I mean, they have to list something. So you're like, suspected strain. That's about as like low levels you can get. So that's 100%. We can't afford to lose you. And you've got your reps. You know what's up. Like, I think that's 100% a bubble wrap situation.
I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to talk about. This was we're 58 minutes into the show. This was the opening 20-minute segment, and we're an hour into the show. But that's why I love you guys, because we can talk ball, we can have some fun with it. We're going to kick it into overdrive. We're going to go into overtime. We're still going to listen to Heupel's press conference, because there's a lot of good stuff there. Don't give a shit. Becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate you, brother. Caveman Boy's been a member for 11 months, says GBO. If you're not a member, fix it. Come on. Can y'all rally some memberships? If you're in the chat and you don't have a Power T beside your name, can you commit to $1? Just $1. There's also a $3 level. There's a $5 level, a $10 level. It's what allows us to do these shows full time. Bring you content every single day. It's because of the membership. So if you like what we do, you're enjoying this live stream, you like the videos, hit that join button. What do we? What?
There is a Benito in one of the casts.
I knew it. Of course there is.
There's seven different. Hey, there's seven seasons. So I was bound to get one name.
Moses to put it in Coach's brains.
Do you know how many seasons of Love Island there are? Because I
just Googled it. I
didn't know it was a thing until this year, to be honest.
I'll tell you what, though. I can tell that Colton is a fan of women with great personalities.
He is.
I think that's why he watches that show.
Why are we so derailed? Why did we just get derailed over Love Island?
My fault.
Oh my gosh. All right, Jim Slagle for 2. Thanks for the midweek football fix. Well, shout out, Jim. I appreciate the super chat. And it is because of your all support that we get to do this. Vols going to ball for 5. Says, y'all think there's a chance one of the freshman tight ends earn that tight end 2 spot? I'm saying no. Like, I think Ethan Davis has a coming out party this year. Miles Kitselman's the leader of the offense, period, point blank. I don't care if Joey starts, Jake starts. I don't care who starts at quarterback. Miles Kitselman is the leader on offense, and I don't see anybody passing up Ethan Davis. I think Jake and Jack are great, but I think it's Ethan Davis's time to shine.
I was on record in his film breakdown saying I thought Jack Van Dorselaer was built for a Josh Heupel offense, that he can block, he can play 11 personnel, he can line up wide. He looked like an All-American in the spring game. But no, I don't think he's going to crack through either of those two starting tight ends, Kitzelman or Ethan Davis. So, but
Yeah.
I do feel safe if there is an issue with one of them.
I agree that I think 1 and 2 are locked in, but I think you will see a rotation. I think those guys have earned reps for sure. Brames put on size and picked up a lot of the blocking. He was trying to get better at blocking. I think that was his main course of action this spring. And then, of course, Van Dorselaer just getting in space, getting the reps, getting the routes down, things like that. So it's like both of them were getting up to speed, but almost in opposite directions. But yeah, 1 and 2 is locked in. But I definitely think you'll see those guys on the field this year.
We're going to transition into Heupel's media appearance. There's a lot of good talking points, a lot of meat on the bones in this thing. But first, we got to do some plugs and we got to do some shills because we got brand new TN Talkin VAWLS merchandise. I mean, you may know where this comes from, but I don't think it's trademarked. TN period, Talkin VAWLS Network, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the comments right now. It's right there in the comment section. You like this merchandise, you like what we're doing, you can click that link, go grab some for yourself. Why is Floyd Lofton here? And he's just talking about Coach Jay. Like me and Foul Ming aren't a part of the show. Like we're not talking.
You put up the wrong store, bud. Put up my store. We'll start.
I feel like I've been kicked out of the Lofton family.
Maybe he's a Love Island fan too. Maybe it's a team thing now, and you guys just aren't included.
I feel like I've been kicked out of the family. Todd says, I just ordered mine this morning. Yeah, get this TN themed merchandise. Go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. T-shirts. We only have tank tops because Coach Jay. That's the only reason. We got hoodies. We got sweatshirts. We got we only have racerbacks because of Miss J. That's the only reason we have those. This looks clean. The baseball themed shirts. We also have TN hats. We got the Nike hats. We got trucker hats. We also have bucket hats for all you old men. But all kinds of merch, man. Talkin VAWLS Nike themed merchandise, golf polos, quarter zips. These are great. I've been playing golf in this like crazy. Good stuff. Windbreaker jacket, travel mugs. You're muted because Coach Jay's always muted. All kinds of merchandise. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Again, the link's in the chat. The link is in the description. You can go grab some Talkin VAWLS merchandise. We would appreciate it. Also, I just want to say thanks. I said this last night, but last night, Tuesday night streams, NCAA streams, we got like 60 people watching. We got more of an audience tonight. I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. I want to say thank you to everybody that has donated to the GoFundMe, and shout out to Foul Ming for setting up the GoFundMe. You can see the area behind me looks a whole lot different, and that's because last Wednesday we're about an hour out from going live. It becomes an absolute downpour, and my entire downstairs, my basement, my office, storage, my daughter's bedroom, her living room, her bathroom, everything is about 2 to 3 inches under water. Had a restoration company come in. They cleaned everything out. We got to cut out a bunch of walls. There was mold. It's happened before. Wasn't the first time this house has been flooded, but somehow, some way, it didn't show up on the home inspection. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting that we've this has been flooded 3 to 4 times and didn't hit the inspection? But shout out Foul Ming for setting it up. Shout out you guys for supporting that. I'll put that link in the chat as well if you guys want to donate to the GoFundMe. It means the world. You guys have been very generous with that. We've raised $2,400. $2,400. Put a huge dent in the bill just for the cleanup and the demo was bad enough, and now we got to rebuild. I'm on the way back in the office, so we're on our way. We appreciate you guys for that. Suko Den fan. Is that what that's? Suko Den fan becomes a member of the channel. Luke Thompson also gifted a Talkin VAWLS membership. Shout out, Luke. Valued client gifted 20
Dang.
Talkin VAWLS. What is that? $100? Is that $100? That's $100. Valued client gifted 20 Talkin VAWLS memberships. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make that a super chat. I'm going to make that basically like a super chat because that's the equivalent of it. That's $100 for 20 free memberships for you guys. 20 people in the chat are going to be able to watch the fan call-in show on Sunday night. That's going to be a members only stream, but we're going to put valued client on the top of the board. for a
Oh,
hundo.
It's Flyfish, by the way.
yeah, Flyfish 21. Yeah, did it like change my YouTube name
Yes,
too? It's
like
like got
even
my
like
Twitter name too.
look at Wayne. Like Wayne is showing as Wayniac. Like nobody's name is showing up as their actual name. So I don't know what is going on with that.
You got to go in and change both now. I think there's two different. There's like your title name, like your profile name. Then there's like your like your URL.
Yeah, every time I see Wayniac's name now, I picture Chris Farley like singing Maniac and spraying himself with gasoline or whatever that is.
See, it used to show up in the comment section with those names that are in the chat, and then the chat would show up as their actual usernames that they had. But yeah, it just changed. I think it just changed last night's the first time that I noticed that. First time I noticed that.
Peculiar.
All right. Anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate your support. I almost said OnlyFans. I appreciate you guys supporting the GoFundMe.
OnlyFans page.
You can also grab some merchandise. Grabbing Talkin VAWLS merch, super chats, memberships, all that stuff is helping us bounce back. We got a long road ahead of us, but I'm just glad I'm back in the office. Even though if you could see behind these arcades, you'd be like, what a disaster. My wife came in the office today and I was like, all right, we're coming back, right? Like, we're good to go. She's like, have you seen the other? Like, yeah, it looks great on air. It looks like complete trash on the other side. I'm like, baby steps, baby steps. Luke Thompson from 5 says YouTube made it so you have a specific name, so now it's harder for people to copy channels and people. Oh, I got it. All right. Let's Shoo. All right, let's transition to this thing. Again, links in the comments, links in the description for the GoFundMe, for Talkin VAWLS merch, all that good stuff. Let's go listen. I want to listen to this because it's really good stuff from Josh Heupel. This was last Wednesday. We were going to watch this on last Wednesday's stream before the world came crashing down. So you guys know the deal. You want to change gears, drop a super chat. Coach Jay Fowl, you want to make a comment, tell me to pause, and we'll talk about it. All right, here we go.
Good first day. A bunch of individual and some group work focus. The key to this whole thing is not making the same mistake twice and continuing to get better. So open it up. Let's go. Give me quick.
By the way, I want to give a quick shout out to Tim. Tim just picked up a dark gray Heather premium hoodie of TN. So shout out, Tim. I don't know who that is in the chat, but I just got the email. So shout out to you.
I know no pads yet. Obviously, got a long ways to go get started. But when you do get in there, when you have a quarterback competition, do you structure offensive practice different? Do you do more 7-on-7, 11-on-11 stuff? Is there anything you do different when you're in an open competition at quarterback?
No, we'll make sure that all those guys get a crack at it, and you try to balance your scheme of what you've installed for the day with all of your groups, certainly your quarterbacks as well, and get them exposed to everything. There's a flow to it subtly. You may tweak it where you end up a little bit more team, but some of that happens during the course of training camp. You pre-plan it, and then depending on where you're at as a football team, those things can subtly change too. Trying to make sure that they get exposed to all the situational football that we need here during training camps and emphasis too.
Josh, are you ready?
Let me go ahead and throw this out there. Do y'all think there's really a quarterback competition?
No. If I'm being honest, no.
Joey Aguilar was brought in to be the starter. Period.
I think it's there is a competition if you want to say that, but I think it's Joey's to lose if you want to put it that way.
I think he has to look really bad to lose.
I think Jake came out and did first reps with like skill stuff today, but then as soon as they got into groups and like a modified team thing, whatever the media got to see, it went straight back to Joey taking first reps, Jake taking second reps, and GMAC taking third reps. So I think it's pretty much settled as far as what they want it to be. So unless the scrimmage or whatever comes up, it's just he looks awful. I think it's more of his job to lose than a true competition.
I tend to think they want Joey to start favorite that way. But I'll say this. I think they'd be open to Mert coming out there and winning the competition and taking it away from him. However you want to word that, right? However you did Joey's to lose, or Mert's to take away if he can. Should be interesting, but I think they favor taking advantage of Joey's what's it called? His contract year, his money year, right? So,
And two quick notes on that right there. Coach did say they're waiting on a guy to take the job. So I think you're onto something there, Coach. It might be Joey's to lose, but whoever can just blatantly look the part and take the job. And then another thing is they have said that Jake has looked more consistent. As far as just day after day after day, Jake's been more consistent. But what we've been missing lately is obviously the deep ball, and that Joey's just showed out on throwing deep balls. He was like 3 for 4 on like 20+ yard passes in his little segment.
well, let me dig at that though, because I grew up in Los Angeles with a quarterback named Jim Everett for the Rams who could complete every single 80-yard pass, but couldn't complete a 10-yard pass. Like, what do you think about that? Like, if that becomes an issue, are you okay with him hitting the big balls? We can run the ball. He can hit the deep ball, but you give up the intermediate passing game.
If that was the case, I would say no. But I don't know that they were saying that Joey's missing them. I just don't,
I'm just
I don't know. We could take it either way. You could say, well, he's not as consistent on the other ones. If you're pointing out that Jake's more consistent, they didn't say Jake's more consistent. They just said, Jake, I don't want that. You can't have. That was almost like I won't throw him under the bus here, but he's an Alabama player, so throw him under the bus. Milroe was hitting some big deep balls last year, but then was inconsistent, and it kind of bit him over the course of the season, right? So that's the most obvious thing that comes to mind. Like, I don't want that. I need the guy who's going to be consistent, hit your little dink and dunk underneath on a consistent basis, keep you in first downs, short yardage situations for third down. And then if you can hit a couple of those over the top, that'd be great. But yeah, I'm going to take consistency over that.
I want look, Joey can make the throws. He can make the throws. And what do we want? Do we want the Hendon Hooker offense? Do we want the number one offense in the country putting up all those points when Hendon was completing like 68, 69% of his passes? I'm running stats here while you guys are talking. Hendon completed 68% one year, 69% the other year. What I want from Joey is Nico. That's all I want from Joey this year. I want to live on defense. I want to run the football, and I want Joey to not cost us a game. And everybody wants to talk about the interceptions, and I get it. Nico last year completed 63.8% of his passes. Joey, in 2023, when he threw for almost 4,000 yards, threw for 33 touchdowns, completed 63.7% of his passes. Now, everybody wants to talk about 2024, and everybody wants to talk about, oh, my gosh, he was so bad at App State. What's going to happen when you're playing against SEC talent? Well, let me tell you something. Joey was at App State by himself. There was nobody around him. Their head coach got fired. That's why he ends up at UCLA. And I get it. If you don't watch App State football, you don't know what's around Joey. 55.9% completion percentage in 2024. 14 interceptions. I don't think that's who Joey is. I think Joey can complete the deep ball. I think he can complete the intermediate passes. I think he can complete the short passes. If you protect Joey, if your offensive line is improved from a year ago, and you can run the football, I think Joey can manage this offense. Now, is he a Heisman Trophy candidate? Absolutely not. All I want from Joey, what do you guys want from Joey this year? I just want him to be Nico. Just give me what Nico gave me a year ago, and I think we got a shot at the college football playoff.
Consistent and taking care of the football, put us in short yardage situations, let the run game do its thing, defense do its thing. I mean,
so what Nico did a year ago, and that's the whole thing about all this. We wanted Nico to take a step this year, right? That was the whole goal, but that was taken away from us. And now I just want Joey to come in and be what Nico was a year ago.
But we need to clarify, like what we were just talking about was not a knock on either one of them. It wasn't a negative thing for either one of those quarterbacks. That was their positive takeaway today from practice. Like that wasn't. I've seen some of the comments and we could have spoke wrong or said it wrong. It's not. I'm not saying they couldn't do something.
Hold on a second. I've said idle long enough. I've kept Coach Jay quiet long enough. Coach, you want to address this real quick? Now is the time, my friend. Now is the time.
Yeah. I am very new to this. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't think you really know what you're talking about, right? Like I saw this nonsense on Twitter recently with a certain idiot that used to be here, right? And guess what? Like some things are real here, right? So let me I'd actually been waiting for something like this, believe it or not.
I did not have this on my bingo card. This is organic. This is authentic. Take shots at my guy. You'll get educated real quick.
How do I just share any tab? Entire screen. Share.
If you go
bear with
screen,
me.
You got to leave it. Yeah, leave it on that screen.
Is this share? Can everyone see this?
That's what you want right there. Now leave it right there. So don't change your screen. Here we go. Walk them through this. Walk them through the text message you got at like midnight.
Okay, yeah. So Boogie shoots me a text message and sends me this photo right here, right? So this photo is of Coach Danny Hernandez with Joey, who you know from other quarterbacks. He was Bryce's quarterback at Cathedral for Coach Pearson, coached with him, right? So he's his quarterback coach, right? He coached with him. We were all at Cathedral together, right? Who does that look like to you? Weird. Weird.
Hey, Colin Ball. You better give the chat. Don't
Who's
disappear
that in the
now.
middle?
Don't disappear now.
Who's that in the middle? Right? Weird. Right? So, I mean, I got more pictures. Should we keep going, Boogie? Like, is this still on it? Like, how do I get back into Twitter here? Sorry, just bear with me. I know I suck at this.
I think you showed enough.
That works. Okay. All right. I can keep going because I loaded up a gang of pictures and yeah, like let's see here. Weird us at the banquet, coach with Bryce. I mean, guys, how do I stop sharing? Just
I got you.
Stop the ridiculousness. Like don't come at me pretending like you know my tree and that you think you know what's going on. I've been around this game for a while. Like I have a lot of respect for my colleagues and a lot of pride in what I know I've done. So don't call me out on that. Joey is from my tree too. He's a California kid. I'm really proud of the work that Danny does with all of his kids. I'm proud still of the work that Kevin Pearson does with his kids, and will always be proud of the work that we do here in Southern California with our quarterbacks. So don't ever think for a minute I don't want Joey to succeed, whether he was from my tree or not. He's a ball now. I don't care if he came from Lincoln, Nebraska, guys. I said it on the channel before. I just want to win, dude. That's all I give a crap about. Like, but don't go talking about stuff unless you know about something. That's all I'm saying.
I love that Colin's just gone. He's gone forever. He shot it. He shot his shot, and he airballed it. But that was a fun thing, man. Because look, here's the reality: you talk way more about Coach P than you've talked about Coach Hernandez because of the relationship with Nico. So it fit. It made sense. But you and I have talked a lot off air. Like you've talked about Coach Hernandez probably. I don't know, 50-50 maybe with Coach P. So when I saw that picture, I go, is this your – I see a LA hat, and I see Coach Hernandez, and I'm like, hold on a second. So I texted you, and I was like, is this your boy? And you're like, holy crap, that is my boy.
I didn't even put it together, which is the funny part of it. But yeah.
It was so cool because it's like I was talking to my wife about it and then talking to you, and I'm like, I think Coach Jay, it's more of his equal versus his mentor. There's two different relationships here, and it feels like you and Coach Hernandez are equals. And I was like, this is cool. And then you're blowing him up, and you're sending me pictures of your son playing in a playoff game against Joey Aguilar. There's just so much fun history here. So, Colin, go ahead and see yourself out, you clown, because Joey does come from the coaching tree. Let's get back into it. That was so organic. I did not expect that was not on my bingo card tonight.
Thank you for finding it, because I was sitting over here like, do I say anything? Do I what do I do? What do I do?
We were saving it for the right moment, and it's all right. It's okay that it's out there now. We'll see what happens. Bob drops a 50. White Lightning dropping a 50 spot.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Bob for 50. The last gunslinger we had was Hendon. Aguilar is a gunslinger and only had the interceptions he had at App State because the weak O-line play and lack of protection with our O-line, he won't have the turnover issues and will air it out. Thoughts? He is a gunslinger, man, and he's not afraid to throw into coverage, and he will probably throw more interceptions than Nico, more interceptions than Hendon, more interceptions than Joe. But I also think these wide receivers may bail him out some. I think he may throw up some balls that are 50-50 balls, and these wide receivers can go make plays. And I think Nico was almost scared to do that. Nico didn't want to make a mistake. So sometimes maybe he held it or he ran, and he was great, man. He was elusive, but I think maybe he didn't want to make a mistake, whereas Joey's not afraid to make a mistake. And that may hurt us, may benefit us. We'll see. What are your thoughts, Val?
I think on the Nico thing, I think the protection just sped his clock up a lot of times. I think he had to move. A lot of times he had to move, and then sometimes he moved because he was expecting to have to move, just from lack of protection at times. So I think that was more of the issue there. I think Joey's going to be fine. I think if anything, him and Hop might click because I think they have that same gunslinger mentality. I think Hop wants that guy who'll just put the ball out there. I'm going to set you up. I'm going to put the play. I'm going to put everybody in the right position. Just throw the damn ball, right? Like, there's so many times you can see Hype, even if you make a mistake, it's almost like he'd rather you make a mistake, come to the sideline, let's talk about it, don't make that mistake again, versus just holding on to the ball, not making a play, not attempting to make a play. So I think that just competitive nature of Hype would rather have somebody that will sling it, take a chance, we'll come back, we'll do it again if you make a mistake, versus just holding on to the ball and getting zero production. So I think he fits perfect into this offense.
Yeah, and I think he's got what's the word, like enough hair on his chin, right, to be there. Like someone in the chat a minute ago, like, was Nico mid? Yeah, for like a total full-on starting quarterback. Yeah. Do I think he was mid for a freshman? Nah, I thought he was special for a freshman. I'm not going to change my opinion because of hindsight. I would have loved to seen what he can grow into when he's got a good offensive line and receivers catching the ball and not running for his life. It saddens me that I'm not going to get to see that because guess what? UCLA's offensive line sucks. Nico's about to really be running for his life next year. We'll see if he gets that hair on his chin to do what we wanted him to do, which was bite down and not get his clock sped up, right? Not have those overthrows and all the things that come along with getting your clock sped up, right? So I think Joey has some age on him. I think he's got great coaching pedigree. I think he's came from great coaches, is with great coaches, and has been around long enough to be settled enough. I still want to see it in the SEC. I still want to see it on that SEC grass, right? No, I haven't seen him. I still want to see it on that SEC grass, but I like that he's a little more mature. That kind of makes me feel like Hendon was mature enough. We brought up Hendon's sophomore freshman numbers all the time because they were horrid. But guess what? He had a chance to grow up. Joey's already been through that maturation process. Let's get him in here and let's see what we can do. And I think the sky can be the limit for him as long as injuries and the offensive line come together and the defense takes that step.
That's a great point, Coach. It's like, how much better does he get with this surrounding cast?
We got to jump back in. We're 1 minute and 12 seconds into this.
Sorry.
I love it. The conversation is golden. Let's hear more.
Ready to name a starting quarterback?
Yeah. Well, surprise. No, not yet.
What do you want the quarterbacks to accomplish this first week as they kind of start the competition?
Yeah, constant growth. Don't make the same mistake twice. Learn from the other guys that are at the position group. I think that's important for everybody, no matter what position you're playing. There's not enough reps for everybody to get every single look, every single install. So you got to continue to learn from everything that's on the field, and then during the course of practice. Quarterbacks. Mastering what we're doing offensively as control and run game, pass game, the checks that we have in all forms of it. There's a lot that's on their plate. So communication, then your fundamentals, which is preceded by your eyes, and then being able to deliver accurate ball. So all those things are going to go into it.
How big is it to have a guy like Landry Jones, who's been in these similar quarterback competitions, played in the NFL, or a guy like Seth Luttrell, who's been a head coach, been an OC, as extra eyes for you and Joey when you have a quarterback competition like you do right now?
Well, guys that have been head coaches, are certainly a help to me. And I say that they got a different perspective. As you bring them in, they get a chance to hear something for the first time. Maybe a subtle tweak to how you're doing it or how you're communicating something has a chance to, inch by inch get you a little bit better. You mentioned specifically Landry, his familiarity with some of our staff, some of the things that we do. His experience, NFL fundamentals, technique, how to prepare, during the course of game week, but the lead up to where we are today and constant growth. He was a pro because of who he was and how he handled himself every single day in the process that he went through, or the journey that he went through as a player to become that. I think those are all extremely valuable lessons to all of the guys that we have inside of that room.
I don't think people put enough respect on some of these hires that Heupel's made, some of these analyst hires that he's made, and how many of these guys have experience coaching at the top level, head coaches at elite places. And then I love how humble Coach is saying, hey, it's more eyes on the product, man. It's only going to benefit me. And I think he's made some good hires. I think he still needs to continue to expand that, maybe look at a GM type role. We'll see if they go down that route. But I love what he says here, talking about Seth Luttrell and Landry and just more eyes in the building, man. It's only good for Tennessee.
I mean, yeah, I'll shill for my
analysts.
Yeah, for analysts here. It's just there's only so much time in the day, family. Like there really is, and you want to watch things from every single angle. Like you want to break it down. You want to look at a play, well, not only like how did that play look against this team, but you want to look at that play against all teams and when that tendency is and why they pulled the trigger. This is where analysts come in, and when you have analysts that did it at the highest level, that were coaches at the NFL, that were, uh, like edge specialists and things of this nature, it just gives you another element, another set of hands that you don't have to sit there and worry about that. We just talked about all these balls that Heupel is juggling. Like these are just more things where he can spend his energy being the offensive guru, right? Not figuring this out or figuring that out, but focusing on what he knows he's good at and what he brings to the table rather than trying to wear every single hat in the building. I thought they were huge hires when they came in, and they can pay huge dividends to us coming up. And I think Saban saw the value in them too, right?
Of course. Yeah, he's the one that started it all. He's the one
that
started it all.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. And once you can delegate out more, just like Coach is saying, once you can delegate out more jobs or more work to other people, that allows you more time to focus on what you need to work on. And especially in a year like this where you've got a bunch of young guys and new quarterbacks and things like that, Heupel can really get into that or even pass off some of that learning or that technique to some of those guys so he can keep doing his head coach kind of thing. And it's all guys they all respect. They pick and choose who they wanted. And it was all, even if it was not Hype's guy, it was that position coach's guy. I know Garner brought in who he wanted. He brought in a friend of his, right? So, and they all have experience, like you said. So the chemistry's already there. It's not like they just took whoever. Like they picked and chose the guys they wanted, they thought would help their team and their players at the end of the day. So I've seen nothing but home runs. We've probably not talked enough about it, but it's just that's not the click headlines, right? But that's a huge part of all this going forward.
When we were out there, Coach, you were watching the secondary quite a bit. How do you kind of go about which groups during individual periods you might float toward during a day? Is it just as you get out there, or do you kind of go into a day planning I'm going to watch these guys more?
Completely unplanned, just fly by the seat of my pants. No, I think it's important that your defensive guys see you. Same with special teams. So I try during training camp. I'm in those special teams meetings, but I think it's important your defensive guys see you too. So depending on the day, what the flow of practice is, what we have going on offense.
early in the day, try to get over there, and then try to get over there for some pass rush as well at times.
It just again speaks to
Combination
how
of both,
stretched
right?
thin he
Serve
is.
and add
Mm-hmm.
when I see fit.
I just want to address this real quick. Tristan says, Boogie, who threw that ball that Hood picked off? It was Jake Merklinger. Austin Price confirmed it was Jake Merklinger that threw it.
And also, like, not that you can't ask it, but ultimately, who cares, right? Every one of those quarterbacks
Right.
will throw a pick.
They've all already thrown them. Every
camp.
one
They've
of them is already,
yep.
yeah, all of them.
Yeah,
all
that's
of them.
my point. Yeah,
And
but I get it.
Regardless
Yeah.
who threw it, does it change it? It's a bad ball. Somebody threw a bad ball. I
Yep.
mean, how many bad balls have been thrown in a practice in week
That's
one?
the time to do it.
Week
That's the
one.
time to do it. Yeah,
And on the
that's
flip
the time
side,
to do
yeah,
it.
it was severely underthrown. But guess what? Colton Hood had his head turned around and made a play and picked it off. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for Tennessee. Bad ball, and Colton Hood took advantage of it. That's it. Like, Jake Merklinger's not losing the job because of that pick. Like, it means
And
nothing.
1 week later, one ball hit the ground today, and what the media saw. So
yeah,
take it for what you want.
When you've got such a lot of new players, young players on offense, is the install or anything about the early practice, is the pace of the install slowed down compared to maybe veteran teams, or are you ever cognizant of when you need to pump the brakes because these are younger guys?
I think the install slows down earlier in the process than it does at this point in the process, meaning your winter block, which is limited time, your spring ball, and then, as you get into the summer, you're rehashing all those installs. By this time, we have parameters of what we want to install by day, by the situations that we're going to encounter, where there's a fairly consistent number of things that we're installing that are new to these guys. So at night, as they get a chance to head back home, they get a chance to go study it, redigest it. Most of what we will install this training camp, they've already been exposed to at some point.
Coach, kind of staying in that vein, how unique is it to be breaking in, new pieces, quarterback, center, receiver, and then how much of an advantage is it that you, Glenn, Kelsey, Joey have been together for so long? I'm sure I have a shorthand.
Yeah, I think the continuity of our staff, working through all the details, the kinks, being on the same page is a huge, huge benefit, huge help, because it allows us to break up into our position rooms and be seamless and be in sync. Man, young guys, I said it yesterday, our players have heard it a bunch. Young guys don't have time to be young. We started that in January. And so, they got to continue to grow. I mentioned it earlier. Don't make the same mistake twice. Learn from your other buddies that made a mistake, in constant growth. We get to the fall, nobody cares, what age, guys are when they're playing. It's the end result. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Joey Aguilar yesterday said, after the first phone call that you guys had during the transfer portal, he hung up and said, like, if they're all in, I'm all in. I'm wondering if there was a moment during that conversation you had with him where you're like, this could be our guy.
You're about to hear right here in this answer why Joey Aguilar is going to be your starter this year. Tyler Hatmaker becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, Tyler. We appreciate you, brother. You can join Tyler. You can get, I want everybody in the chat right now. If you're a member of this channel, put your favorite custom Talkin VAWLS emojis in the chat. Let's flood the chat with custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, and that is in honor of Tyler joining the channel. So shout out, Tyler. So we're talking about the phone conversation. Joey Aguilar, Josh Heupel. This is why Joey is going to be your starter for the Syracuse game.
I think the maturity that he demonstrated on the phone, as you get a chance to go through his history, what matters to him, and what he's looking for, what he cares about, fit the culture piece of it. And obviously I studied the film as well. So I felt like it had a chance to be a really good fit at that point.
Do you think, Fowl, the being a veteran, being a guy that played JUCO ball, started at App State for 2 years, he's been around the block, knows what he's doing, he's a lot older. Do you think that plays into it? Because we've seen Josh Heupel lean towards veterans when it comes to making decisions. Do you think that gives Joey the one-up?
100%. I think that's exactly hitting the nail on the head. We've talked about it a couple different shows from the time he first got here to now. But I think Joey's experience, Joey's age, maturity, I think all those things were a factor. And on top of just him himself. That seems to be Coach's thing. That seems to be Coach Hop's go-to. He wants the veteran guy. He's always leaned towards experience. Going back, I mean, until last year when he literally didn't have a choice. I mean, that he's always like there's times when we thought, maybe Nico should have been in over Joe. They got to see it in practice. It was ultimately their decision. But just as a fan, you thought, well, surely with all the hype, Nico can come in and make these throws. But Hop's always leaned towards the veteran, leaned towards experience. So I think 100% that's exactly why it's Joey's to lose.
Yeah. It's helpful to have a steady, cool hand at quarterback, right? And quarterback, like anything, is repetition and being out there and doing it. And when crowds are loud and the bullets are flying in real speed, you need someone who's used to being out there, right? Like you think about someone stepping off onto a beach and getting bullets shot at him, right? And he's never been there before. He's gonna be terrified. Like, what's going on? Where am I? Holy crap! What did I get myself into? Compared to a general who's been there, right? Who this is their third or fourth year in combat, and they don't panic, right? They're calm. They know how to handle themselves. They're cool and collected. There's a lot to be said for that at the quarterback position, and it's certainly why I believe Heupel favors it, and why it's smart too, right? And it gives you that other year. And I think Jake's going to see the field, right? Like the backup quarterbacks the last 2 years have seen the field to some degree, varying degrees. It really even going back to, Milton hurting himself and Hooker popping in. Jake's going to get some time this year, is my point, behind center. And that time will serve him well going into next season when we have a three-way quarterback battle. So maybe the young gun wins it. Maybe George steps up. Maybe George puts on some weight, grows out. He's got a big arm, man. We saw it at the spring game. But it gives you that option of having someone, at least one person, who's seen that field a little bit and been out there, but not throwing them to the wolves at the same time.
Just curious, Boog. Like if Joey comes out and plays good, but just in practice and different skill groups, whatever, Jake looks great, but Joey's playing good. Which way do you think he goes then?
It just depends, because what is great versus good? Is good meaning Joey's turning the football over? Like if I think
not making mistakes, but just not absolutely balling out either. Just being consistently good.
I think Joey's the starter. I think the only way Jake wins this job, you said it earlier in the show, that it's Joey's job to lose. So what that tells me is Joey's going out in practice. They're about to scrimmage on Saturday. Joey throws 2-3 interceptions, and Jake is consistent and doesn't turn the football over. Then I could see Jake maybe winning that job, but I just don't see it. I don't see Joey going out there and making those mistakes. I think
is taking care of football just the biggest thing for Joey overall. Like, let me give you
when you look at this defense and you look at the fact that we've led the conference in rushing the last 2 years, yes, protect the football. That is the key. Like I said, I don't need Joey to go out and win a Heisman. I need him to manage the game.
Like let's say Joey goes out. Let's just take the Syracuse game. Let's say Joey goes out, throws for 310 yards, 3 touchdowns. We got 3 rushing touchdowns, but he throws 3 picks.
That's a problem. It's a problem
for me too, Fal.
Because that can cost you a game against Georgia. That can cost you a game against Florida. That can cost you a game against Alabama.
It's not the problem against Syracuse, but it's a problem against Florida,
if you're throwing 3 against Syracuse. But then, okay, number one, if you're throwing 3 against Syracuse, it's a problem. Also, it's the first game. So does that factor in?
Yeah. Just fun to talk about this guy.
That's why we're here, ladies. I can literally
that's why we're here
for 10 minutes about either point.
Yeah, if he did that against Syracuse, I'm not going to be saying bench him against ETSU. He goes out and does it against Georgia and we lose, then I'm saying, now, are we going to play Jake and Joey both? Yeah.
But then we got to bring up the schedule. But then it's like, who are you rolling Jake into?
Well, if you're going after the Georgia game, you got UAB, and then you got Mississippi State, then you got Arkansas. So you got 3 games to get geared up for Bama.
Well, yeah, but you also got 1 game for him to get acclimated, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 straight SEC games. So I don't know. I think he's got to look real bad.
I don't think he's going to look bad. I think Joey's
I
going
don't
to go out
either.
and ball out.
We're just talking.
He's going to ball out against Syracuse, and Ball Nation's going to fall in love with him, and then Georgia's going to come to town. The wheels are going to fall off.
You better not throw 3 picks against ETSU.
And then everybody's going to overreact after the Georgia game. That's what's going to happen.
So you're saying we're going to overreact after the Syracuse win? Is that what you're saying, Boogie?
Yes, he's going to beat Syracuse. He's going to beat ETSU.
Are you sure?
And they're going to be comparing him to Hendon Hooker. And then Georgia's going to come to town. Tennessee's going to lose, and they're going to be screaming for Jake Merklinger or George McIntyre.
I don't know. I think us volunteer fans are very calm, level-headed people.
We overreact.
We won't overreact at all.
Okay? Straight up practice.
5 minutes of routes on air, and I'm making videos talking about
Blur
is this
gates.
a problem? Is this a problem?
Kitzelman blurred out. The Tyson's blurred out.
I got Austin Price in my DMs last night going, bro, it's
Lord.
not a problem. I'm like, dude, I'm just having fun on the internet. That's all I'm doing. All right, let's hear more from Josh Heupel.
When you guys are looking position by position at young guys of who, like the separation of guys that are ready now and guys that may need a little bit more time, is that usually obvious to you guys as coaches on film or on the practice field, or is there usually some debate or gray area about a guy?
Well, I think it's not who they are today. There's a journey that everybody's going through that individually and collectively as a team we're going through here during the course of training camp, and how quickly they continue to grow from practice to practice is a part of the projection of where they're going to be, and how they handle getting team periods, good play, bad play, whatever it might be, their ability to reset and go play the next play. It's the player's responsibility to prove he's going to play at a championship level. Once he proves that, then it's our responsibility to find a role and ask him to do the things that he can do at a really high level.
Let me give a shout out to Billy Bob real quick. Becomes a member of the channel. Billy Bob, thank you. Appreciate you, brother. If you're not a member, fix it. $1, 25 cents. 25 cents a week for a members only stream. If you don't have a power T beside your name, what are you doing with your life? Fix it. Hit that join button. We would appreciate it. Let's hear more.
This is kind of out of left field, but a lot of players yesterday had talked about the off-campus dinners that they've had where maybe they're not with their closest teammate or with a guy in their position group. There was somebody on the other side of the ball. They said you have made that an emphasis. Why has that been such an emphasis this summer with this team?
It's something that we've done throughout our history here. We did more of it this offseason, did a better job of accomplishing that. I think it's always been super important that your team is connected. O-lineman walks by a DB, you know who he is, what he's about, and like what his dreams, goals, aspirations, like you have a common bond, and you go back 20 years, everybody was living in the same dorm, same apartment complex. It's a different era now, and I said it yesterday, but what it takes to go win on Saturdays on the field hasn't changed, and so just carving out opportunities where again we get a chance to just connect as a football team outside of football, and that makes us better on the football side of it.
How hard is that to achieve in this day and age with the transfer portal? Guys can leave at random times. And because of that, have you made it more of an emphasis? Do you feel like it needs to be more of an emphasis?
Certainly did a better job, made more of an emphasis of it this offseason. It is different. It is harder. But again, what it takes to go win on Saturdays hasn't changed. And so it's important that, our staff and our players are all in on that. And I think that's one of the unique things at this point. Like when we do our exit interviews, one of the things they wanted was more opportunities to do those things, which I think speaks to who they are and what they want the culture to be.
Did one of you all start to talk?
I think he glossed over the point of all that he didn't want to just come out and say. I think it all boils down to retention. Like the more your team's together, the more players get to know each other, the more they almost feel obligated to each other. It's just a matter in this world of transfer portal. I think it's just a retention thing.
Yeah, and I think it's got a magnifying glass on it because of Nico, right? And then the way that Miles Kitselman responded to that, the way this team responded to that, I think that speaks volumes on this culture. But it's not a coincidence that Heupel says we're putting more emphasis on that this offseason after Nico left, right? But it makes sense, man. Like working in corporate America, they try to force this team chemistry and team bonding. This is authentic. This is organic. And we've even talked to some guys, man. I think Don Bailey may have brought it up, right? The dinners and hanging out with guys of a different position group. It's huge. It's huge. And to be able to recognize your brothers and bond with those guys. Like, of course, like we got Sam coming on in the clip that he had with the media where he's like, man, my offensive line is my brothers. Like, don't mess with the people in my backfield and don't mess with my offensive line. That makes sense. But if he's willing to go to bat for Colton Hood, if he's willing to go to bat for Idris Farouk, now you got some serious culture. And we praise Heupel for the culture, and he's still recognizing that he needs to tweak some things and continue to build that culture, Coach. I love it. I love what he's doing.
Yeah, you've got to keep that camaraderie because it means something when people stick around, right? I'm sure it meant something. You were talking about Mike a little bit ago. He could have left. Brazel could have left. It would have been really easy to. Might have even been fiscally sound to do so in the smart decision. But, you know, team means a lot to people. I know nowadays it's really easy to say it's just the money. And yeah, money's huge. Huge, right? We all know how important money is, but if you have no chemistry, you have no family, you have no loyalty, then why would anyone stay? You know what I mean? Like everyone would just be leaving all the time. There is nightmare stories everywhere around college football right now. I mean, there's been multiple schools that have had everyone transfer when a coach left or had 50 players transfer or 30. I mean, we've complained about it. We've had it good, y'all. We have had it really, really good the past few years. And the only reason that it hasn't been a, crazy exodus, even when you lose your starting quarterback, let's say, is because that chemistry is good. So yeah, we need to focus on it. Yeah, we need to rally up and make sure we understand why we fight for each other, why we fight for the power T. Otherwise, money's all you got. And there's no loyalty.
Well, how important is it? Say the offense has a turnover, knowing that defense will come out. They got my back. They'll put up, or the defense gives up one. They get a bust and they give up one. Knowing my offense got my back, they'll get it back. Like just having that familiarity and that confidence in each other versus just, oh, that's another guy on the other side of the field, and I'm mad, I'm aggravated, I want to argue on the sidelines because you just gave up a play, and now I got to go get that back for you. Stuff like that, where you have that almost camaraderie, like you're talking about ahead of time. Don't worry about it. I got you. You got me. Kind of a real team chemistry kind of thing. I think that plays out huge. You don't talk about that enough, or even if at all. But in those big games, those close games, those tight overtime games, like that's when that stuff's going to play out.
Or even like Miles Kitselman talking about there was no voice last year, right? And he's talking about the offense going 3 and out. And you come to the sideline and nobody's talking. And this is not me taking a shot at Nico. Some people aren't vocal leaders. But somebody needs somebody. It doesn't always have to be the quarterback. It's easy to take shots at Nico and say, well, he should have been leading. He should have been. It doesn't always have to be the quarterback. And Miles Kitselman said I should have been that guy. I was the veteran, but I didn't have the confidence because I just transferred in. Guess who the vocal leader is now? It's Miles Kitselman. If Joey wins the job, if Jake wins the job, the leader of the offense is Miles Kitselman. He's the voice. He's the guy that's going to come to you and say, get your head out of your ass and let's go out here and let's go pick up first downs. Let's go score some freaking points. Like, that's huge, man. Huge.
I mean, Miles was still proving to himself that he belonged, that he earned a spot, right? Like he came in without all the buzz and all the things. Like he was still figuring it out for himself. So, I mean, just the fact that he wants to put that on himself, that's praiseworthy. But like that, who would have expected that from him then? So. I mean, that's just how far he's come in a year's time, but there should always be that guy. And Nico was going to get that blame because the position he played more so than him himself. I mean, it's still a freshman. Like you can only expect so much from a freshman as far as they're still figuring out college. These are young kids that are still figuring out just the college life off the field. So Like how you can't expect them to just come in and then be a leader of men day one.
Well, look at Miles
there has to
Kitchelman.
be
He
that
was a
guy.
senior. He was a senior and didn't feel comfortable leading, but you
Right.
want a
Well,
redshirt freshman.
You're not a freshman, but you're the first year on that squad, on that team. You're looking at
Right.
guys who really don't know you that well, and you're going to start just barking orders. Like that's got to come natural. And in a year's time, it has. Those leaders have risen to the top.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when I've got a young kid like freshman, I mean, redshirt freshman, you're all young, right? It's your first time in a starting position. It's tough because you need leadership out of that position. Like you really need it at that quarterback position. But there's also something to be said by, like, if you want to lead, you got to learn how to follow first, right? And be in that position and be behind someone seniored out who's tough and is the true leader there. So it's just a tough position. And I think the thing that ekes all of us the most is we'll never know what that would have been or what it could have been or anything. And that's the stuff that you hate about the game. But the good part about it is what Coach Heupel said, man. It don't really matter who stays, who leaves, who goes. None of that. The game don't change. You got to line up and you got to play, man. So from a coaching standpoint, at least, football is really simple, man. Just it's a game. You coach it. You coach it to win. You go out there. You try to execute it. I feel bad from having to do all this CEO stuff. Maybe one day I'll learn all that myself and be able to be in some kind of position like that. But I can't imagine how difficult all that is.
But you know, he's still that quarterback at heart, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Coach
Yeah.
He's still that quarterback at heart. I mean, that's your leader. That's probably the real glue. Like that's where all this culture
Right.
comes from. I mean, how big of a deal is it to have a guy who's
Yeah.
been that quarterback, who's led teams before as your head coach?
And he was such a leader at Oklahoma that last year. But you know what? He wasn't his freshman year. He wasn't his
Exactly.
sophomore year.
Yeah.
You know, like it
But I love
takes
when he
time.
transferred in, though. When he transferred into Oklahoma, they sucked. They were awful.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they were coming off of a 7-5
Yep.
season,
Yep.
and he came in and said, "We're going to go win a national championship." And I love the article of the freaking the linebacker on his team that's like, this guy's crazy. This guy's crazy, but he's our quarterback. We'll follow him. And you went and won an effing national championship. Like, but I think that's why he has created the culture that he's created. I think that's why he is the leader that he is, because he is that quarterback foul. He is that dude. He's the guy. He's the alpha in the room. And that like the alpha is not the guy that tells you that he's the alpha. The alpha is the dude that just sits back and leads by example. And that's what Hype does. He doesn't need to tell you that he's the man. We all know you're the man, and we're all going to gravitate to you. We're all going to follow you because that's just who he is organically, man. And not only that, he cares about people. He cares about relationships, man. He doesn't call you up and say, "Oh, did you talk to Georgia today?" He calls you up and says, "How's mom doing? How's dad doing? How's little brother doing?" Like he's organic. He's authentic. This I love me some Josh Heupel, man. I love me some Josh Heupel. Is he the guy to win a natty? I don't know. Does he win an SEC championship? I don't know, but he's a dude. He's a
Just
dude.
look at his personality difference when we get little clips of him in the locker room. I mean, he is that dude. But then he gets out here on a mic piece. Like there's coaches that can just run a mic, right? Like
Y'all seen the clips,
he
right?
hates it.
Y'all seen the clips where he's like, "F these guys."
yes, I don't even know if that's AI or if it's him, but either way, I'm fired up. Like,
I think it's real. I think it's real. I thought it was real. Is it
I have
not
no
real?
idea. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I got me fired up.
choose to believe it's real.
But I think
don't
that's
doubt
him.
it.
Like, I think that's him in the locker room for sure.
Yeah, I think he's a different dude in that locker room that he is standing out here at a podium in front of a microphone. Let me hit these real quick. Bob gifted a Talkin VAWLS membership. Shout out Bob. Waniac gifted one because somebody in the chat said, I'll join the channel. Stu said, "I'll join the channel when you gift a membership," and he gifted a membership, and Stu still hasn't joined the channel. That's the way things happen around here. Cthulhu, is that how you say? I don't know how to say this. We gifted 10 the Talkin VAWLS member. That's $50. That's 50. Well, I'm going to play the clip because that's the equivalent of $50.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Shout out for the memberships. That is not cheap. Again, members only stream coming up Sunday night at 7:00. Don't you dare miss it. Tuesday nights, EA Sports College Football 26. We have a good time. Always a blast hanging out with you guys. You want to be a part of the dynasty? You can play against Foul Ming. I mean, I have to yell at him. Coach Jay, do you understand how much of a prima donna this guy is? Like you take care of your business now. This guy, I have to message him, and then he complains that I'm messaging him about a game that he's trying. I'm like, when did you become a mega superstar? Like, can you just go schedule your game? But if you want to go head to head with me, Coach Jay, Foul Me, The X Factor, Dauber, I just put the link in the chat there. You guys can come be a part of that. It's a lot of fun, man. We hang out, we bicker, we argue, we talk Tennessee football, we talk college football. And I'm going to put the link to the GoFundMe. If you guys feel sorry for me and want to help me out, I would appreciate it. Let's hear more. Let's wrap this thing up.
There you go.
Joey talked about yesterday going through spring installs back at home, how he did it in 4 days.
Halsley or Aguilar?
Oh, Aguilar, sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. And he also talked about during the break, he would show up at 7 a.m., leave at 9 p.m. He had to be let in and out of the facility. Just how important was it for him to do that? And are you seeing that paying off early?
Yep. The timing of when he got here, unique and not something that we haven't had before, but it applies an urgency that's always there, but as late as he's getting here, man, super urgent, and him being able to get exposed, digest, and become comfortable with what we're doing. If you're playing quarterback and you're back there thinking, you got no chance. So it's got to become second nature. It's got to become your primary language, and he's worked really hard at that.
That's Coach Heupel talking about his starting quarterback for the 2025 season, Joey Aguilar. I believe it. I think that's going to be the man. Man, this was a great show. 2 hours. 2 hours. I came down here 5-6 hours ago, started trying to lay out the show, and Foul Me had messaged me earlier this morning. Somehow I missed it. And I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. And here we are 2 hours later. Great conversation. Always love talking ball with you guys. Stu says, I'm going to make it right. I'm going to fix things in the world. He becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, Stu. We appreciate you, my man. We appreciate all of you guys, man. Smash the thumbs up, share out the link, let people know about these streams. Again, we're going to be live Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be a members only stream. Only the members of the channel get to watch it, but it's also going to be a fan call-in show. You guys get the link. You guys get to come on, talk about whatever you want to talk about. You want to talk about fall camp? We'll talk about fall camp. You want to talk about recruiting? We'll talk about recruiting. You want to talk about expectations? We'll talk about that. Whatever you guys want, that's what we'll do on Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Tuesday night, playing EA Sports College Football. Wednesday night, we'll be right back here. Hopefully, Scoops will be in the house, and we'll be talking another week of fall camp. Bordeaux. Boudreaux. Is it Boudreaux? Boudreaux? I don't know how to pronounce that, but he gifted a Talkin VAWLS membership. What is it? Somebody want to pronounce that for me? Boudreaux. It's got to be Boudreaux, right? Boudreaux. Shout out Boudreaux. We appreciate you guys. All right, that's going to do it for this, man. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Smash the thumbs up, share out the link, all that stuff. The links are all over the description. If you want to support the GoFundMe to help me bounce back from this nonsense, I would appreciate that. The brand new merchandise, TN merchandise. Go check it out. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Join the channel. Only $1. 25 cents. 25 cents a week. Hit that join button down below. But that is going to do it for Coach Jay. For Foul Me, my name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call